最後に何か日本の皆さんにこの映画に関する一言、またセバスチャンさんから一言メッセージいただけますか？
I'm better with questions. I mean, the movie, the book is beautiful, and the story is beautiful. It's extraordinary, and I think the movie is beautiful, and the music is amazing, and the performances are extraordinary. And I mean, I suppose the only thing I would add, in terms of that as a movie, is that like affair, like a family, like a business, any artwork, anything we engage in the world is a collaboration between us and one another, and between God and between spirit, if you will. And so this movie ultimately was brought about because of many brilliant artists who I was able to collaborate with and who trusted me. And that's all the actors, Mina Subari and Stuart Townsend and Francis Fisher and Mariel Hemingway, Rebecca Graff, and Nick Stahl, etc. Everyone was just extraordinary, And the trust with the actor and director, an actor is trusting themselves, because an actor on screen is going to be, beautiful and perhaps ugly, is going to be loving and romantic and perhaps offensive and embarrassing, is going to be, somebody who we want to be and someone who we're ashamed to be. And so an actor has to trust a director completely, and these actors trusted me completely, and that's why the performances are so good. I mean, everyone in the movie is just amazing, and all the supporting roles, every single one. And I think that I'll look forward to seeing how people respond, to the different performances. And then on the levels, with producing, my producing partners, were all very trusting, of me right from the beginning. And this film, and part of producing is that you have to disagree on things. That you have to, because if everyone wants to build the ship the same way, then you don't need all these partners, right? That we all, somebody says, no, the mast needs to be this high and this wide. And then someone else says, no, because you're going to hit this point in the Pacific where the mast needs to be shorter. Otherwise the boat's going to tip and the boat's going to sink. That you need differing opinions, because that collaboration is ultimately, the collaboration is ultimately served by some of that friction, and so I'm deeply grateful for the differences and the similarities and my producing partners that helped me bring this to fruition. And then, in the actual, making of it, every single person that works on a movie, from makeup to wardrobe, to lighting, to grip, to, transportation, to scheduling, to, every single thing is really something spectacular, like a dance. And when you're shooting a movie, you might be together from 5 a.m. to midnight every day for a month or two. A small movie, you might have 100 people. A large movie, you might have 1,000 people, or more. And so the odds that someone's going to come to work one day who's lost a lover or a friend or a family member, or had a big challenge or a letdown or a devastation, is almost 100%. So everyone that works on a film must show up saying, I can't bring that to work with me. And everyone else who shows up to work has got to say, this might have happened to the person right next to me, and they might not be saying anything. And so I think that one of the beautiful things that happens in movie making is that we develop a certain kind of personal responsibility for our emotions. Not everyone does, but most of the people who work a lot do, because it's just required because of the pressure of time to deliver a product that everyone's trying to make together. Hence this adage, the show must go on, right? Like in the theater, the show must go on no matter what happens. And that's a beautiful thing. It's kind of, I think, one of the things in this life that we say, the show must go on, right? We're just players on stage for a brief instant. No matter what we incur, the show must go on. And I think that in a sort of theater verite-esque kind of way, this movie is that story about the show that continues to go on. And in this case, the show is love. The last thing I'll say about collaboration, particularly on the movie, is that, as a director, I've worked on several projects with my DP, Sean, and Shan, and he's wonderful and amazing. And he and I have a shorthand that you've got to when you're when you're shooting a movie under high pressure. That's why you see directors and DPs work together again and again and again, because so many things are challenging on a set, yeah, and you have to circumnavigate things, yeah. And then as we discussed a little bit earlier when we were discussing art and transcendence, the score, and the editing, with my partners in that, Kim and Catherine, and then Christopher and Joel, you are carving a statue, yeah, that is dynamic and is always changing, yeah. And at some point you say, okay, I'll let it rest. Michelangelo had made the statue of David a little shorter, it'd still be amazing. If his shoulders had been a little broader, whatever, it'd still be amazing. A different statue. When do you know, right? The answer is you never know. You have to let it come through. Depends on what the stone says that day. Depends on how much strength you have to chisel it. Yeah, it depends on the collaborators and how they show up. So what I'll say, the only thing I'll say about then that, really to put a button on that or a bow on that, is to say I'm deeply grateful, for all the people who collaborated and believed in this story and in me to bring the story to the screen. And I'm in advance deeply grateful for the audiences that receive it well, and that share it, because I think for me, making this film has really been beyond a movie and beyond an art and beyond an epic story. It's an act of service. I wanted to make something that would move people emotionally and help audiences, help individuals feel excited about love, feel courageous about love when they're devastated, and feel hopeful about the love that's possible from within them and between them and their significant other, or that they might be able to locate through themselves in another if they haven't met that person yet.
素晴らしい。Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。すごい。
いや、すごいインタビュー素敵な内容になりました。
Thank you so much for what you're doing there in Japan with Integral, and your interest in this content, and your enthusiasm to share about this story. I feel like we're partners on this journey.
そういうふうに言ってもらえて嬉しいです、本当に。
Much honor. Thank you. It's possible. A lot of people have requested that I do something virtual, meditative practice, and one of the things I like to do is a breath work, a little bit of breath with nature sounds, and then at the same time some type of storytelling. So storytelling, binaural, orchestra music, nature sounds, breath, but it's really about storytelling. But I do like to do it in person. That's my preference. If you had a large audience in Japan and you felt like that was something that people were excited about exploring, being interested in, well, we should do it. More than that, though, is I have a book that's currently in German that I'll be on consciousness and transcendence, and it's stories of myth and stories from my own personal life, and then also sort of poetic philosophy. And I'd like to publish that in Japanese. And if I do, then I'll come there and we do a book tour, and then maybe we can even screen the film, do a book tour, and then maybe perhaps we can do some type of extended special sound and story and binaural in person there in Japan. Because having grown up so much in Hawaii, I love the Japanese culture. The culture of respect, yeah, is spectacular. Yeah, I feel whenever I'm in Hawaii and I'm in the elevator, I always make a point to exit the elevator last. Yeah, whenever I'm in the elevator with anyone from Japan, because everyone is so kind and cordial, and it's written into the culture there. And I have such a great respect and admiration that I would love to go. Beyond that, the art, yeah, and the history of Japan is amazing for me.